No, this takes him into zero. A real boxer, a real world champion boxer. That the only other time he was in for the fans to get mad with that was against Fury's Tommy Fury, but it wasn't that level, obviously, and all the size things you just rightfully pointed out. But he would have been in there with, I mean, it seemed crazy.
Gervonta Tank Davis has shocked fans with a dramatically transformed physique ahead of his rumored clash with Jake Paul. Famous for his compact power and explosive speed, Davis appears to have taken his conditioning to a new level, packing on noticeable muscle mass that's got the boxing world buzzing. Recent gym footage shows a thicker, more imposing version of Tank, sparking speculation that he's bulking up to.
We were yelling so much about him fighting someone, fight somebody your size. His next opponent is, by far, the most credentialed guy ever fought actively in his prime. There's one problem. He fights at 135 pounds. He fights at 135 pounds.
In preparation for the potential showdown, Davis has reportedly turned his training regimen into an all-out assault on weakness, mixing high-intensity strength work, heavy sparring, and grueling conditioning to sustain his newfound size. Footage and reports suggest he's incorporated heavier resistance routines, emphasizing compound lifts to build core and upper body bulk, while still drilling his trademark speed and footwork to retain agility. Sparring sessions now feature larger, more physical partners, some even resembling heavyweights, to help him adapt to handling bigger, stronger opponents.
Yeah. This Santa Cruz right here, you can't let it burn, baby, let it burn. Mind over matter, son, mind over matter.
This is the blues on.
Ain't nobody doing no shit like this. Come in the desert. Nigga trying to stay away from the desert, he come in the desert.
When the night
Camera. Oh,
Say light, camera, action.
and fighting for
Light, action, cap.
Come on, Tank. Come on, Tank. Hurt him out. Hurt him out, Tank. Dig down in there. Dig down in there. 10 seconds. Don't think about it. Don't think about it. Remember that gun on it? They got that gun on that tank. They go, time.
when the night is cold and low.
He ain't gonna keep you here late tonight. Good job.
It's been hard being away from my daughter. She actually here, she sleep. Just being away from her, it was a little touchy, but I know when I'm up, up against, I know that I got pay-per-view, I know I'm fighting a tough opponent, so really I know how to lock in, I know how to shy away from everything, I know how to, I know how to fool around.
I said 10
Don't do I can't go on TV looking like that.
Still, Jake Paul naturally fights at a much heavier weight, and the proposed bout rules reportedly set a 195-pound maximum with 12-ounce gloves for both fighters. For Davis, who normally competes around 135 pounds, that's a massive leap. The size gap has drawn skepticism from critics, who warn that adding too much mass could dull Davis's greatest weapons, his speed, explosiveness, and precision.
Jake Paul, Tank Davis fight got moved to Miami.
I think Jake wins.
Jake's just so big, dude.
I think Jake wins.
This is different because it's similar. It's similar to Logan versus Mayweather, but Jake Paul
boxing.
Now obviously is way more advanced than where Logan was at that moment in time.
I mean,
Gervonta
it's
is
just
fucking sick.
I mean, yeah, no, but dude,
Did you
Jake,
ever watch his highlights?
Jake can
He's
crack,
nasty,
man.
bro.
He's so sick.
He's
I love
nasty.
that guy, bro.
Tank is not the guy that knows how to sell a fight. Tank cannot sell a fight in his own division. You have the Paul brothers and they come over to boxing. Their idea from day one is we don't have the skills or the experience. What we're going to do is we'll take on the absolute best guys, but they're going to spot us some pounds. Tank has one job to do, that it doesn't make any difference, that boxing is a real sport. My skills versus your skills, of which I am an abundance of and of which you have none of. Tank is telling anybody that will listen that there's a size problem. My skills and my experience in boxing, I do not have to wonder who's in the bar tonight. Any bar I go to, I rule the bar. No, it turns out that you don't. Just need some big guy to corner you, apparently. Boxing has never stood its ground. Boxing has never been able to explain why Floyd needed a half hour to get rid of a guy who's never boxed before. Tank Davis has already began this. When you choose a dum-dum, don't be surprised when he goes out and acts like a dum-dum.
UFC President Dana White didn't hold back when asked about the potential Paul vs. Davis matchup. He dismissed the general hype, saying few fans are genuinely excited, but considered the fight could still benefit Davis at a career crossroads. After enduring negative headlines and a lull in momentum, White argued that Paul's lucrative offer gives Davis a timely chance to regain attention and cash in. Still, he believes Paul's advantages in height, reach, and raw strength would let him bully Davis, leaning in, clinching, and smothering Tank's offense. While White acknowledged Davis's elite skill, he warned that once a smaller fighter enters Paul's physical realm, those advantages may fade. In his words, this would be less a contest of boxing skill and more a test of Davis's ability to endure overwhelming physicality.
Is picking Jake Paul to beat Gervonta Davis. This is not a fight that I'm excited for at all. I would rather have Gervonta Davis fighting in a real boxing match against the likes of Lamont Roach, Shakur Stevenson, Keyshawn Davis, Emmanuel Navarrete, anybody that is in the 135-pound division and around. That's where I want to see Gervonta Davis fight. However, we live in a world where everybody is trying to do things as big as possible. And the biggest fights possible right now, unfortunately for the sport of boxing, is an exhibition fight between Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis. So I do like it for this reason, though. I like it because it is allowing Gervonta Davis to have a fight that is going to be big and that the mainstream media is going to have to cover, the mainstream media outside the world of boxing. Gervonta Davis has been, without a doubt, blocked, having venues blocked, having fighters, having other promoters paying fighters away to go different directions from Gervonta Davis. So Gervonta Davis was in a bit of a hole. And he gets an opportunity to fight Jake Paul for $200 million or whatever. I don't mind it at all. As long as Gervonta Davis comes back to the world of boxing after he gets done with this, hey man, you got your money, no worries. But you gotta love Dana White having the audacity to pick Jake Paul in this fight and says something to the effect that, hey, he was talking to Logan Paul and said, hey, when you were fighting Floyd, you know, there was this, you're a gigantic guy, big size difference. There was a time when Floyd Mayweather Jr. had an overhand right that landed flush on Logan Paul.
Bare-knuckle fighter and former UFC standout Mike Perry also took aim at Davis, accusing him of chasing a cash grab instead of a meaningful challenge. Perry questioned whether Tank still has the hunger that once made him a champion, suggesting that facing a YouTuber-turned-boxer reflects a focus on fame and fortune rather than legacy. He even claimed Jake Paul might be showing more drive and discipline than Davis at this stage, comments that reignited debate over where Tank's motivation truly lies.
Jake is big, Tank has a lot of skill, but I don't think he's the same Tank that we saw the most incredible knockouts. We saw him, Lamont Roach performed great. They went to draw and, I just don't know. And Tank walked away. I don't know if he loves it enough to beat a guy who outweighs him by 80 to 100 pounds.
During their face-off, observers noticed an uncharacteristic tension in Gervonta Davis's demeanor. The normally unshakable knockout artist appeared uneasy, his body language stiff, eye contact fleeting, and composure seemingly forced. Many interpreted this as the size difference finally sinking in. Standing across from the visibly larger Jake Paul, Davis looked aware of the physical challenge ahead. While some fans saw his restraint as calm focus, Others read it as uncertainty creeping in.
Tank looked very uncomfortable facing off. He just did. I've seen other face-off this Tank done. He gets in their face and they're intense and he looks good. He looked very meager up there. You've had 8 fights and you're gonna go tangle with Tank Davis. And the story instantly comes out. Jake is so much bigger. There is such a compliment to Jake within that insult. It is meant to be an insult. It is meant to take away from a potentially glorious moment for Jake. But where the compliment comes is it means the public believes he's gonna win. That's what it means.
Veteran analyst Teddy Atlas also weighed in, highlighting the stark size disparity. Joking that Tank would need a ladder just to reach Jake's chin, Atlas said the matchup stretches competitive fairness beyond reason. Comparing it to Canelo Alvarez hypothetically jumping up to fight Terence Crawford, Atlas noted even that gap wouldn't be as extreme. He argued that Davis's shorter reach and smaller frame make the fight look less like a balanced contest and more like pure spectacle from the start.
Things, right? They should also have like the size of the ring, the size of the glove, all that stuff. Particulars should be in the contract. But I would probably look for one thing that is not the common thing to have in a contract if I'm Tank. A ladder. A ladder. Can I get a ladder? Somebody? You know what I mean? Hey, look, if he hits him on the chin the way he can punch, Jake might be doing a dance, you know what I mean? Not voluntarily either. But we'll get into that more later. The thing that I'm talking about right here is what you said. It was stark. The size difference was really, you couldn't ignore it. We understand the talent difference, the experience difference. We understand all of that. But the size, the pure, and we understand small guys can beat big guys. We just saw Crawford do it to Canelo, but a little different. The size difference was, it was eye catching, jaw dropping, and it made me think. And I'm going to ask Richie, our man here who's doing all the taping, who does such a marvelous job. I'm going to ask him because I know he's an expert in this area. But it reminded me of one of the Rocky movies where they had the face, where they did the wrestling thing with Rocky and Hulk Hogan, a.k.a. Thunderlips. He was Thunderlips back there. And I thought I had it right, and it was confirmed to me. It's Rocky 3.
Undefeated champion Shakur Stevenson echoed that sentiment, bluntly calling the rumored Paul vs. Davis bout a terrible matchup for boxing. Stevenson argued the fight makes no competitive sense, serving only as a money-driven spectacle rather than a genuine test of skill. The sheer size difference, he said, turns what could be an athletic contest into mere entertainment.
Maybe he'll fight Jake Paul instead. What do you think of that?
I think that's terrible.
Why?
I get it, because at the end of the day, it's the money business, and you want to make the most money, but from what I'm hearing, he can make more money in a fight with me. And if that's the case, why not fight me?
Sure. Do you think he beats Jake Paul?
Do I think he beats Jake? Yeah.
There's a huge size advantage, though.
It is, but I think Tank got the skills to make sure he come out on top.
Do you think that Jake has gone better?
Yeah, I think actually Jake got tremendously better from the time frame that he started till now. And in the right situation, I also could see him become a world champion.
Really?